What's up, everyone? It is Mitchell J again, the Scaredy Cat Guide, and Bitcoin is still the big dog. It is still the lead dog, and kind of everyone's waiting on it. Um, all the traders I know are, a lot of them kind of work their way to a cash position because they have no strong conviction to the upside or the downside with Bitcoin showing the indecision that it's showing. So as you can see, we made that move up that we talked about in prior videos, and essentially now pull back, and we're just going sideways. I mean, there really hasn't been a whole lot of movement over the last 24 hours or so, and you know, we're dancing with this old trend line, and we came up and tested it and pushed through, and it's like, oh, sweet, that's the first bullish and positive price action we've seen in some time. So I was like, cool. Does that mean we're getting ready to gear up, make a run? Are we going to make a run at this 9K top? Are we going to make a run at the 200-day moving average? Up at 97, 9800? And we still could. This could just be a little pullback. I mean, if you think about it, if you discount this, if you just, in fact, here, let me back it out, boom, right? So with that trend line not in play, I mean, basically what we got is we got a bounce, and we're getting a little pullback. I mean, it actually hasn't been that bad if you think about it. So are we getting a little pullback to gear up and make another move higher, or are we just going to kind of give it back, or maybe even pull back to as far as 74, 7,500, which again would not be the worst thing. That would still be a pullback that, especially if we had a bounce there, now gives us two things. One, we have the higher high from the previous high, and now we'd also have a higher low. So if we pull back to 7,400, it's not the end of the world. Especially if we bounce there, that would actually be a somewhat orderly move, and then we can hopefully be making a run at 9K. So I'm not all that worried if we actually pull back to 7,400, or I should say more like 75. Um, because that would just be an orderly pullback, and then hopefully we bounce and make a run at 9K. That actually, if it played out that way, would look very positive because, again, then we'd have a higher high, a higher low, and positive price momentum and positive price action. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, if we pull back and dump all the way back down to 66, 6,500, yeah, that's not so good. Now we're back to testing these lows, and that's not giving us the warm and fuzzies. But anyway, that's the deal. I mean, you can see it on other cryptos that it's just kind of waiting for Bitcoin to take the lead here. Same thing with Neo. I'm actually in a trade on this. I have a core position, but I got into a trade the other day, and you can see like, we got to move up, and now it's kind of like gonna go, nope, and then it's like, look at this, sideways, sideways, like the last 48 hours really, and tried to make a bounce up, and it didn't. Um, these little lines here from the hourly time frame that I'd actually was using to time my entry and exit, um, while using the daily for my ultimate target. So you'll see I have this line here. This is essentially the previous top, and that's my upside target. And we're just not getting follow through. We came here, boom, came up. Looked like we are going to push and make a run for that, and sure enough, pull back and kind of going sideways, just like Bitcoin is. So the point is, like, Bitcoin is still the big dog. It's still taking the lead. Ethereum and Litecoin kind of do their own thing sometimes. So I talked about Ethereum on yesterday's video, and it looks like Ethereum is doing what we had hoped. We are getting the breakout here. So um, even though it pushed higher and sold off yesterday and closed below this triangle, so it's this long-term triangle it's been in, it looked like it wants to break to the upside. So now the question is, are we going to maintain this? Because this candle's new. This candle's only like four hours old in terms of the daily candle. We got some time. So are we going to push higher? Is it going to close above, or is it going to actually end up selling off like it did yesterday late, and we end up back, um, in this triangle? But either way, it's nice to see it trying to bust to the upside, and really what it needs to do is clear, like, it's still in these intraday. It needs to clear above here. It needs to get up into the 140s to really show at least any kind of positive price action. and then ideally make a run at this 150 where the 200-day moving average is, and basically these supports. So we'll see what happens, but that's good to see Litecoin pushing positive while Bitcoin is kind of languishing again. So we shall see how that plays out. But I like it, especially because you got this solid base, like I said, down here at like 110, 105. Anyway, that's it. That ended up being a lot of just technical analysis on charts. But the overriding principle was Bitcoin is still the lead dog, and the market still follows Bitcoin. It may not have the majority anymore of crypto, but it still has the biggest percentage of all cryptos. So it's still the lead dog, and you can see that in price action. Until that changes, I will use it as so. So yeah, that's it. I'll drop a link in the show notes for the crypto ebook and the class that obviously teaches everything we're talking about. So I will see you on the next video. All right.